Hey everybody. So this afternoon I'm prepping to get ready for a little fishing trip tomorrow with a buddy of mine. And I had a couple of people that reached out to me lately and they had asked me, they said, what are some of your favorite jigs or tube jigs, grubs, whatever it is that you throw for Sac-a-Lait here in South Louisiana? So people are always trying to pick up little tips and tricks like that. I know I do that. I'll reach out to certain people, or through the years, people have taught me different things that kind of tip me off to be able to have a little bit more success when I'm on the water. And you never know what you're going to learn from somebody. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what my setup is. I keep a very simple box when it comes to my Sac-a-Lait or crappie fishing for all my guys up north. And I'll show you kind of what my setup is right here. So this is my box, guys. You can see on there I have it written Brim Sac-a-Lait. It's a old school Plano tackle box, and I'm going to kind of show y'all why I like this box. First of all, is because it's very simple. So one thing that I like about it is in the top portion here, there's two main sections to this tackle box. And as you can see, I kind of got all my corks, my niblets that I use. I always talk about those. This is a good example of being, tipped off. A friend of mine just told me about these, and I'm going to be trying them for the first time. But this is Gulp Alive, and this is like a little mealworm or something instead of the traditional crappie niblets. He told me that he uses those. They work really well, and they stay on the hook a lot better. So I'm going to be giving this a try. I'm kind of interested to see how this works out. But I know Gulp Alive for saltwater has always been really good. So I just picked these up at my local tackle store. But besides that, guys, I got traditional crappie niblets I keep in this box. I have my scissors, an old school stringer, my corks. I love the cigar style corks for Sac-a-Lait fishing. I like how that cork sits on its side. You get that bite, it kind of flips up. I really like that. I got my tube my jig heads, the actual lead heads themselves. And there's different styles that I'll throw depending on what my needs are. But this is one of my favorite ones that you guys have probably heard me talk about before, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is a Benoit Performance Baits jig head, and it has a little bait keeper on it right here. And what I like to use this for is when I'm doing like a cast and retrieve with a tube jig or a grub tail, something like that. Typically I'll throw a grub tail when I'm doing a cast and retrieve type presentation, but I really like this jig head. It is sharp, and it just holds the bait on there really well. And you can get these from my buddy Blake Benoit over at Benoit's Performance Baits. So I'll keep those, and I'll show you guys one of my other favorite jig heads that I use, which is the old traditional sled style jig head. I know there's an official name for these. I can't remember what it is, but this is what I'll throw a lot of my grub tails on when I'm fishing under a cork, or even a regular tube style jig. So I like this size. 1/32 ounce is my favorite size to use, but I'll mix it up depending on where I'm throwing it around, what kind of cover and that type of stuff. But I got some hair jigs up in here. I got traditional beetle spins. I got my jig heads with the spinners on them, like your beetle spins you'll find. You can see all that there. And I also have some color jig heads, some painted jig heads. I even have some brim hooks in here because I do keep a little bit of brim tackle with me. You can see my corks right here. But just a very, very simple tackle box as far as that goes, guys. Now, as I open up the middle section here, I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. You come to the middle section here, and this is kind of where all my plastics are. And I have it laid out very, easy to get to as far as if I want a certain color. One of the colors I throw a lot is popsicle. Here in South Louisiana, we have a lot of dirty water. I love popsicle. I'll keep different, styles, grub tails. I'll have triple ripples. I'll have the traditional hula skirt styles. I throw that color quite a bit. So colors that I throw quite a bit, I'll have a lot more typical. I'll keep a bigger compartment. As you can see here at the bottom, I have popsicle. I have Junebug chartreuse, black blue chartreuse. Also, this red and chartreuse is one of my favorite colors to throw right here. It's a red, black, and chartreuse. And then, of course, I got black and chartreuse. So, as you can see, I have it all laid out in my grub tails. Then I have one of my most popular or favorite colors to throw down here in a hula pop or hula skirt style. Is going to be a black, red, and chartreuse. This is an excellent color here in South Louisiana. That's one of my favorites as well. And then as you come along through the box, I'll start getting into my minnow style. Once again, Benoit Performance Baits. My buddy Blake Benoit, Benoit Performance Baits, hand pours these plastics. He makes some awesome soft plastics for Sac-a-Lait, guys, and are really effective. Now, what I like about Blake's as compared to some of the store-bought ones that you'll get is the consistency of the plastic in these ones that he pours. And just moving it around, look how much that tail's bouncing right here. It has a really good buoyancy on there. I'm barely even moving it, and that tail is just bouncing up and down. And yes, sometimes, you know, you'll go through a couple of more of those, but they do give a lot more realistic, let me spit that out, realistic action, guys. You can see that tail constantly bouncing, and I'm barely even moving that bait. So all of Blake's, you know, plastics that he hand pours has a certain consistency to the flexibility of that particular plastic, and I really like his slab dragger plastics for Sac-a-Lait here in Louisiana. So you can see I have different colors in the slab dragger from Benoit's. I'm a big believer in his stuff and the consistency of those plastics. This is another color I have. I think it's an avocado, something like that. I think it's called, and that's really good here in South Louisiana as well. Also, you know, obviously your blues and your silvers, all that traditional stuff like monkey milk color are always really, really good. So my point is I keep it really simple when it comes to my plastics. You don't have to have a ton of tackle to be able to go out there and catch some panfish, guys. I keep this box with me at all times. It's easy to load up in my boat. I grab my one tackle box. I bring it with me whenever I'm ready to go. And then I have it in my boat at all times. Very, very easy to store in the boat. Doesn't take up a lot of room. I don't have to have a tackle bag with me with a bunch of stuff I'm not using. I kind of keep it just to what I'm using. So hopefully that kind of helps clarify some of my favorite stuff. Like I said, I did have some people reach out to me, and I said, hey man, you need to do a video on what some of your favorite colors, some of your favorite plastics for Sac-a-Lait. And share that. And you know, some people don't want to share that type of information, but guys, that don't bother me, man. If we can all go out there and catch fish, it's more fun for everybody, and it's a great thing to get everybody in the outdoors. So that's just my setup. That's what I like to do. And maybe we'll do a follow-up on what type of rod and reel setup I use, and we'll have some fun with it as far as equipment goes, guys, sharing that with y'all. If y'all appreciate this video, give us a like. We appreciate you for doing so, and share it with your buddies, your other fishing buddies. We would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, guys, go ahead, give us a follow down below and hit that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. Until next time, this is Jacob with Last Stop Waterfowl Outdoors signing off. Y'all take care, guys. Let's go catch some fish.